Hello and welcome to this medium Linux box again. This one's called Blurry and it was quite a difficult one. I was interested in since I did a minor in AI and I was seeing some similar, words and things I've seen before. So I wanted to dive into this one. I split it up into two parts because I just got the first payload working, so I'm just going to explain that and I'll do the latter part after dinner. So that's why it's going to be split into two parts. But it's a medium difficult Linux machine, and there's just some simple DevOps features which we can log into with chat and sort of get to know more information about the box itself and how it works. And on this ClearML suite, we can actually sort of import our code or make it execute our code and to execute a reverse shell. That's basically, it's going to be the foothold. And after that, we can actually inject malicious code into a machine learning program. I think it's from PyTorch. Into a model, and this basically, I'm not sure how it works yet because I have to get into it, but it executes this model and then you get privilege escalation. I still have to see how it works, but if you go to a scan, you can see basically there's not going to be much happening. Interestingly, it's app.blurry.detectbox. Most of the time you don't see a subdomain like this. So one of the commands I'm going to run is going to be fuv, and basically I'm just going to be looking for vhost here. And I don't have the word list selected, so I'm just going to go to user, share, word list, sec list, discovery. It's going to be web. No, it's not going to. It's going to be DNS, of course, and it's going to be directory, subdomains, top 1,000,000, 5,000. If we run this, we can see we have app, chat, files, and that's basically it. If I look at my host file, I believe it's already in there. So we can see we have app, blurry, chat, files, and API. I'll get into a second why API is here, but you will see. So if we just go here and we will go to chat.blurry.hackedbox, we don't get anything because we have to go to the protocol. Chat.blurry.hackedbox, which is one. Then we had files, and there was also, what was the last one? We can just go to app, which is also a good one. http://app.blurry.hackedbox, which is the other one. Which features some login thing. It's not supposed to log me in, so I'm just gonna log out. And then we have, I believe, like these are the ones you're gonna look at, and there's also gonna be files. Files.blurry.hackedbox, but it's not. It's just bringing this, and I couldn't really get it to use. So I think it's some sort of online save thing for this one, maybe. Well, first of all, Rocket Chat is quite interesting because for some reason, if you just create an account and name everything something like test, a test, and a test. No. And a test is annoying. You're actually able to just log into the thing. I think it is because it allows anonymous access to these chats. So if we are able to log in, we can see we have some general settings here, and I can see we have some messages. So make sure you are up to date to the platform. I spend a week trying to fish out in our meetings and stuff. So not much interesting here, but if you just browse around, you can see there's also an announcement, and inside of here there's something quite interesting because they're saying that if you put the review tag inside of your ClearML thing, it will be reviewed by administrative people, which means basically it's going to get executed by administrative people, most likely. And then further on, it's going to saying to the ClearML platform, right? So it's definitely leading us to this ClearML platform. For some reason, if you just provide a username, it's going to allow you to log in, and we get this welcome to ClearML screen. Most of the time, this is some, not really relevant login screen, but this time you actually want to look into it because we want to sort of run code. So let's just click get started. We can see we need to install the module, and then we run the ClearML setup script. In this case, we actually want to run this setup script. So if we just do the ClearML init, and I've already installed ClearML, so it's already going to work basically for me, but I've already configured it. But what you do, you get these credentials, you put them inside of there, and it's basically going to work. I think I also have to do them. So I'm just going to have to remove sudo remove rf. It's just rf onto, it's going to be clearml.conf, Kali. And I think now it's going to prompt me. So to paste the copied configuration here, so this is the thing I'm just going to copy into there, and we see credentials verified. So now there should be some new thing inside of the slash, and I see clearml conf. Right. Now that we have this, we can actually integrate it to our code. This is the thing they want us to run. So from clear mail import task, task is task project. So if we just were to run this, I'll just do vim and then test.py. And if I were to run this, we can see if we run test.py that inside of the projects, if I just go to projects, don't show this again, please. And then we have, there should be one called my task. I think this is the one I just uploaded. Did I call it my task? My task, right? This is the one I just made it just a few seconds ago. So something's like getting executed here, right? So it's interesting to see what code is in there and what version of XML stuff and artifacts, configuration, information. All this stuff is pretty interesting, but I want to know how can I sort of, you know, get someone else to execute this. So if I just go to projects and I go to themes work, I can see Black Swan. Inside of here, we have some experiments and there's going to be some failed things and like something like I'm not really sure what is happening. But this is quite interesting because we can see the code people have uploaded. So what I'm seeing here is they have the process task and then the main is always interesting. The Black Swan. Then they do a tags of review, which is of course also something we want to set. Otherwise it's not going to get executed by the user or by the administrative person that's going to review this. And then they just run a task. Right, so now that we know this, we can actually continue on with our sort of exploit. So what I search for, if you just go through, for example, the settings, it's going to be what kind of version this is running. What I found is some exploit, and basically it is a whole like pretty stretched out exploit. But basically, if you just go to the run exploit command, it's going to run this thing and send it over to, where was it sending it again to? Here, it's going to start this task in it. It's going to put this task review, output true, and it's going to upload this artifact. I've picked out the things I wanted to see. So if I look at this thing, we can see we have the imports, and then we'll make a class, and then the reduce. Reduce is something you have to do. I believe they do it here as well. Do I not see reduce? Don't see reduce. Right, I believe it's something you have to do because it's getting pickled. And I think in this way, it's making a sort of stream out of it. So what we're doing here, we're just returning this OS shell through my computer, which is going to be .7. And then we have the project name, which of course we need to set task name and the tags of review. And then we're going to upload it. You can name it whatever you want, but make sure you have this ref shell as matching as your class. The retries of 2, that's a pattern, the extension name .pok. If I run this, exploit.py and have a netcat listening, you should see some sort of program being launched here. So if we would just go through the projects and actually see into Black Swan, what kind of experiments are, I can see something was just added, which is going to be my task. And I can look at like what was inside of this code. And you can even see like where is it coming from. So it's coming, you can see where it's saved, information like by who is it ran, and well, just the code itself, which we can see here. So basically this thing is going to get reviewed, and normally you would have to wait probably a day or maybe even longer inside of a development sort of team. But in this case, I think it's running every minute. So if we just go to our code, we don't have something yet, which is interesting. Just going to run it again. I think it's going to upload another task. Maybe it's just a second of it having to run. So maybe it's just taking a while. All right, I'm not sure why it mattered, but for some reason I just got a shell back. And like I said, it's supposed to just work right away, right out of the box. But I didn't change anything, and I saw a walkthrough of Iptak, and he had the same problem. So for some reason I'm just gonna accept that's getting run maybe once every minute, or maybe the server starts after 10 minutes after you started the box or something. Like, I'm not really sure. Anyway, if you get onto the system, you can immediately see that, you know, you just got sort of to Jippity, which is the user. And we didn't really even need to do like anything special if you look at it this way. There was another method we could do this. So if we just go through, let's see, what was it? Actually, I'm not going to go into that method. We got this one, right? You want to know where you are, and I can see we have access to SSH. So it's always interesting to just see if we can cat it, and yes, we can, which is a relief because we can just go into the box without having to use this thing. Right, so I'm just going to make it RSA and paste the code in here. You always have to change it to 600. So 600 is read execute on, sorry, read write. Wait, execute. I'm not even getting into it. It's supposed to be 600, okay? 'Cause I think that's only the owner which can now access it. Read write, yeah, that is read write. I'm not sure why, but these are only writes you require. So we can now access SSH to GPT, RSA, GPT at, and then we have 10.10.11.19. So you can just do yes here, and we can see we actually get onto the system. And this is where I have to just try my luck again, because I'm not sure yet how to sort of get to this one. So, okay, I just have to do some checks here because I wasn't sure how it worked, but I guess I sort of do now. There's ways you can really go in depth into this one, but I'm just gonna look at like how this thing works in general. So we see some script that executes everything inside of modules. So if we look inside of modules, we can see we have demo module and evaluate model.py. I want to see what this script is, but first of all, I want to see what kind of thing is being ran here. So I'll just do a cat and we can see some small script. It does an unzip on the first argument and the output argument. It then does an echo, and then we have, it finds everything which is called .pkl, so the .pickle. And then we do some fickling. Fickling, I had to look it up, but it's basically something which serializes or sort of checks the serializations of pickle objects. If you don't know what pickle is, it's basically something where you can serialize files. The way you can look at it is I have like, actually let's start it. Let's just import pickle, because fickle is the thing that's checking pickle. Okay, we're gonna create a JSON sort of save file thing. So I'm just gonna do my name in there, kick, and then what else is there? My age, I guess. So we'll just do the age, which is gonna be 22. So this is gonna be something that has to be saved. Now we can actually sort of open this file. So with open data.pkl, you can already see I tried it already, so that's why it's already there as a file. And then we have to do pickle.dump, I believe it was dump, yeah, dump. Nice. Pickle.dump to the data and the file. I believe this is a standard one, and we can actually exit out of this. If you now were to look at the data.pkl, we can see name, kick, age, Q. So I can't really see. I guess you can still read some human readable things, but most of the things is serialized, and this is because then it can easier be used or transferred to other computers or read by machines. Just, you know, for average transfer things. If I now want to open this, I've copied the command here, and it's gonna see, we're gonna import it, and then it's gonna open this pickle file, and it's gonna read the bytes as a file, and then all it's doing is loading it, basically. How pickle itself works, I'm not sure, and I didn't go into depth into this one, but you can see you get the data back normally, and I think even the file size is smaller if you save it like with something like this. And it's, of course, I think there's less error for like that's, I'm not sure how pickle works. Okay, it works. So this is the thing that it's doing. So we could insert our own pickle file into this one. It's being executed, but we have to make sure that fickle doesn't pick up on it. How fickle works is it's setting a hook, and the moment it reads some code that is sort of, well, malicious, it should throw a hook, and you have these different versions. So it's going to be allow all, and I think there's unsafe file error, always check safety. There's going to be other ones, but basically we have to sort of circumvent the check on this one. So what I did is I just went through my exploit.py, and we can see like what we did here, but I just want to have this class. So I made a new one, which is going to be savepickle.py. It's really small, but all we're doing is it's going to be torch.save. So it's basically saving this as a PyTorch model. That's what it's doing. And I just ran this inside of here. So you can see if pond.pht. Wait, why is it? Oh, sorry, it's save.py. That's the one we created. So this is the thing that's doing, and then you have, of course, this pond.pht, which is creating it. Now we have to sort of make sure it's in the right directory because it can only execute inside of this. I think it might be able to do a path traversal, but that's something I'm gonna check in a minute. So I'm just gonna copy pond.pth to /models. And if we now do a / on models, we can see there's pond.pth. We can actually run the sudo. So user evaluate model /model, and then we do pond.pth. Make sure to start a netcat because of course we want to capture this request on 9001. And if we just run this, we can see it's considered safe, which is always a good sign because it makes sure that Fickling didn't pick up on it. It's now processing the model. It's probably going to get executed right now. And we should see some color lighting up here, indicating that we did get no such file directory models pawn. Did it get deleted right now? It did get deleted. All right, let's just run the command again. I was too slow, so of course that can happen. It's considered safe processing, and it's gonna take about 10 seconds again. I wonder, yeah, so now then we get the root thing. So that was basically the root file, the flag. So I wonder if it's possible to do path traversal on this one since it's listing it star. So what I'm gonna try to do, if I can get my shell back, can I get my shell? Do I have to stop it from here? Oh wow, okay, that's actually, all right. So the thing I did was this, but I want to try if I can just do it from my own directory, because if I list it where it is, like here, we can see we have to pond.pth here as well. So I'm just gonna start a netcat listener again and see where I am. So I'm home chippity, and I'm just gonna run this command again, but this time I don't have it in models. I wanna go to /models, and then we have / It's gonna be inside of home chippity /pond.pth. And I think this might work. So it's considered safe processing, and I'm not sure if it is, and it is. So it didn't even need to be in models in case you didn't have a write access or sort of write access to that folder. But this is the case, like how you were to use this box. And that was basically it. So yeah.